Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by Mr. Muskie Charters, offering full-service guided fishing trips for walleye, muskie, bass, and sturgeon on Lake St. Clair and the Detroit and St. Clair rivers. Booking information is online at mrmuskiecharters.com. Hey everybody, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We've got a brand new show, jam-packed with all sorts of good stuff. Jenny Olson is going to kick off this week's show with a walleye fishing story. Then Jordan Brown is going to take us to a bear hunting clinic that the DNR recently put on. Then I'm going to take you to a rough grouse and trout unlimited joint fundraiser where they're raising some money and shooting some clay pigeons. You won't want to miss that. And with all that going on, we have time for a bragging board as well. Lots of good stuff on this week's show. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream. It's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse. Offering a variety of meat products, Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 and M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen. By G5 Outdoors, makers of the Quest and Prime bows, manufactured and designed in Memphis, Michigan. G5 offers a line of archery bows, broadheads, and accessories. On the web at g5outdoors.com. By KL Outdoor, a Muskegon manufacturer of sportsman's outdoor products for over 30 years, featuring the Terrain line of hard-sided hunting blinds designed for quick setup and removal with quiet operation. For more information and other products, kloutdoor.com.
Michigan-based Vanguard manufactures an array of binoculars, ranging in size and design, and backed by a lifetime warranty. Discover Vanguard sporting optics at vanguardworld.us.
On a Friday morning here on Lake St. Clair, we hit the boat launch bright and early to head out after some walleye with Jeff Van Torrey from Dick Hoovar's auto dealership. But Mother Nature handed us some stormy weather, and we sat on shore just talking about fishing for a couple of hours.
Yeah, we got here pretty early. We got here about 6:15, and it was nice when we got here. I mean, it was blowing a little bit, but then the rain moved in, and now we're just waiting it out. It's supposed to be blowing through, and it's just normal Michigan weather. Nice all week, and you go to fish on the weekends or whatever, and the weather just turns south. So we'll go out there and see what we can do. Bite's been pretty good, and I don't know, hopefully we can get on them. We'll be pulling crankbaits today. We haven't really pulled that many spinners out here this year. Everything's been a crank bite for us anyways. We've been getting better fish on cranks, so that's what we're gonna go with.
Been seeing some decent sizes?
This is honestly the best year I've seen and fished out here, size-wise and quantity-wise too. A lot of guys are getting limits of fish and limits of good fish, and it's been all year ever since we've been out here since May, June, July. Now we're in August and we're still getting 25, 26-inch fish, and it's all on the American side too, which is pretty rare. But we're doing the best we can, and it's really, this lake is really showing off this year.
Jeff's tournament partner, Eric Lenz, talked through their fishing technique for the day.
We usually run crawlers out here. Once the water gets to a certain temperature, it's usually a crawler bite, but we just found this year that the crankbaits have been producing really well, and the bite just really never slowed down for us. So we stayed with the crankbaits. As long as they're biting them, we'll just keep on running them.
Fresh out the package.
Wow, brand new.
Brand new. Give her a go. She's been pretty good this year, so.
Joining Jeff and Eric today was a special guest. Good friend John Perkins from the Lansing area made the trip over to help bring in some of the catch today. It was a rare day for John, and he was excited to get going. John, when's the last time you caught a walleye?
Oh, geez. It's been a couple years, and that was through the ice. But not exactly a walleye guy, but kind of just smaller panfish and such, but excited.
it's a good body of water here. There's a lot to it. It can be tricky. It can be really hard to figure out. But once you figure it out, it's rewarding. And I think next year I got a pretty good partner right now with Eric, and next year we're going to be fishing a couple other circuits as well, and see if we can put our hat in there and see what we can do.
Well, the guys were doing well right off the bat. One of the planer boards swung out, and John was battling his first walleye in a long time.
Hey, we got one in the boat. All right, first fish of the day.
Oh yeah, John's got one on. John's got something nice going there. Yeah.
Big 10-pound walleye.
We hope.
Look at that, hey?
Yeah, nice smallie.
Okay.
Put up a good fight.
Popping it back in?
Yeah.
All right. There we go. All right, got a couple more on?
Yep, we got another one on. Right.
There we go.
Another one. Nice Lake St. Clair eater.
Let's see what he came on with that bait up for.
It's a clown banded bee shad. Got a real good bait for us here on Lake St. Clair this year.
Nice.
All right.
Got a little more heft down there?
Oh yeah.
No! That was a big. That was
10 pounds. Really? Biggest one I've seen this year out here.
Oh!
Dang.
Right at the end, he got a 10-pounder, you think?
Oh yeah, that was.
He was long.
That was a 30-incher. That was a big one.
Oh! Next time.
There.
Is there anything he could have done different?
No, you did great. Did great the whole time. It just how it goes.
Yeah.
Right there at the boat, and they just turned right at the last second, just out of my reach. You know, the lake's been producing a lot of really good fish this year. The channels have been really good. The south end of the lake's been good. The Canadian side, the American side has been phenomenal. Seeing some really good numbers out of the lake this year, better than years past. So a lot of small fish too, which is positive for the future, but also some of the biggest fish that we've seen in this lake in a really long time, and a lot of good numbers of them. So a lot of positive things for Lake St. Clair, especially on the American side of the lake. And just out here just trying to expose the lake and show everybody the fishery that it can be. It's known as a smallmouth fishery, it's known as a muskie fishery, but all of us walleye guys just find it to be a phenomenal walleye fishery. So we're really enjoying the bite that we've had this year and the success we've had this year.
The success out here today included a mixed bag. Although the guys were targeting walleye, John was still happy to fight with whatever they hooked into on every pass. The last fish of the day ended up being quite a surprise.
Jeez! Whoa, that is a beast!
It's a hog. Go send your walleye friends.
You having fun out here?
Yeah, it's great. Jeff and Eric are doing a great job putting us on a lot of fish. And it's been a good day once the rain stopped.
Yeah.
The weather made for a delayed start and had us fishing in less than perfect conditions, but John had a blast tangling with Lake St. Clair's offerings, and Jeff and Eric made the most of it. I think they were glad this wasn't a tournament day with the mixed bag we found. At the end of the day, it was fun just spending time on these world-class waters in Michigan's out of doors.
Hi, I'm Jordan Brown, and for our next segment on this week's show, I was in the Cadillac area to learn a little more about bear hunting at the annual bear clinic put on by the DNR.
so this is the Bear Hunter Clinic at the Carl T. Johnson facility out of Cadillac. And what you're going to see here is we host 3 different sessions. 60 hunters are able to come for each session, and we're actually full seat. Last year we even had a few individuals standing for us too to attend this because it's such an amazing resource for hunters. You'll find information about it, you know, if you're interested for next year within the Bear Digest. But what you're going to see here is a full range of information. So we have conservation officers that come and give a general synopsis of all of the hunting regulations and laws. But they're also here to answer any questions that either this year's hunters or future hunters that are interested in taking a bear have, which is an amazing resource to be able to have a one-on-one interaction with conservation officers. I myself come here and discuss what we do. Every hunter is required to submit a bear tooth to the disease lab for analysis to help us understand the bear populations. And I try to come and discuss why that's important and what we're actually doing with those teeth, because sometimes submitting samples, maybe hunters don't quite understand the necessity of that. So I come to talk about that. Others that work out of this facility are talking about bear baits, stands, different methods for take. So you can pretty much, and a lot of these guys that are teaching the course are bear hunters themselves, so they're really well versed and have a lot of information and knowledge to share.
One of the topics covered at the Bear Clinic is baiting. Not only how to make your own bait, but also when, where, and how to use it. The baiting regulations can get a little tricky when it comes to bait that can also be used for deer, but there's a few different ways it can be done legally.
Oats are a natural product that can be used for deer bait as well. Therefore, they do fall under the 2-gallon limit, and they need to be made inaccessible to deer outside of the baiting season. And what we mean by making them inaccessible is using something like this. What we've got is a hollow log, like this one, with a cookie on top. You dump your bait into the hollowed out portion of the log, you put your cookie on top. This is not going to stop a bear of any size. You'd be amazed at the size of bear that can just toss this off there like it's nothing. But a deer is not going to be able to move this. So if you're using this setup, you're making it inaccessible, and you can still use your oat-based products. Another method of doing that is the log pile. We've got an opening underneath here, and we stack the logs on top. It's going to keep the deer out, it's going to slow the raccoons down, and it won't slow down the bears at all. Plus, by cutting the logs to a particular length, it kind of gives you an idea of how to size up how big the bear actually is.
So basically we're at a bait station out in the woods. We got our hole like up in front where we had the logs piled up. That's where we'd put our grain or whatever. Bad part about these is if it does rain, that hole is going to fill up with water. So if you're using grain, it's going to spoil. We don't want that. You have to clean it out. The cookie normally would have a higher log, but you can fill it inside the hollow log, put your cookie on top, and take the rock and put that up on top of that. What you want is a heavy enough rock that it's going to take you straining to get that up there, because these bears are just going to come through and just knock it right off like it's nothing. But that does help keep your bait drier, in case it does rain. We got our measuring stick in the back here. It's about 3 foot high, so we get the height. Normally I would mark it off to get the 48 inches. It's a good shootable bear. If you notice, it's away from the backdrop, so the bear will silhouette when he comes in. Up above us, we got kind of an open canopy, and that's going to give us that extra 15-20 minutes of light that we're going to need, because these bears are black. You got to remember that when it starts getting dark, they're just going to blend into the surroundings.
Some of the most common violations that we see with bear hunting is establishing bait stations early. You don't want to establish a bait station prior to 31 days before the first day of the hunt in the bear management unit that you're going to be hunting. And so there's so many different bear management units. You want to really pay attention to what management unit you got a tag for in your hunting, and that you're not establishing a bait station prior to that. Something else we see, trespass is always an issue. I mean, and that's across the board with, most hunting disciplines and activities that we have, but we do see some trespass issues with that as well. Make sure that you're getting permission if you're going to be hunting private property, and that if a bear does go onto private property and it's posted, you get permission to go track that bear before you go over there. Some other things we can see are dirty bait sites, and what I mean by that is leaving trash, bags, barrels, different things. I've dealt with people hanging bait up in a tree. We don't allow that here in Michigan. It has to be established on the ground. So those are just some things to be mindful of. Another big rule change that we have here in Michigan is not using any chocolate or cocoa derivatives in your bait. That is new, and that's something that you really need to be mindful of, because I have seen a lot of people using, chocolate covered cherries and different chocolate products that we are not allowing anymore.
In the Upper Peninsula, we've seen pretty stable populations. In the Lower Peninsula, though, we've seen an increase, which is what the department has been working towards. That increase, however, has resulted in an increase of complaints with nuisance bears. So a lot of hunters this year are going to see the tag increase for the limits, and it's basically to modify our management strategy to basically keep a sustainable population, but also to address those nuisance complaints and those nuisance bears so that our population stays within the social norms of an acceptable level.
Special thanks to everyone involved in the Bear Clinic for helping to create a great resource for sportsmen to learn more about bear hunting. Whether you're hitting the woods with hounds or hunting over bait, we wish all of the bear hunters a safe and successful season.
Well, there are a lot of great conservation organizations here in the state of Michigan, and what really kind of piques my interest is when they work together, like in this next story with the Ruffed Grouse Society and Trout Unlimited. A few weeks back found me just north of Grand Rapids for a very cool fundraiser aimed at raising money for kids events both for the local Trout Unlimited chapter and the local Ruffed Grouse chapter.
Well, I'm one of the organizers, president of RGS, Grand Rapids chapter, and just really out here trying to make sure everybody has a great time. Well, we had, this year we had registered shooters, casters of about 60 participants. We started the day with sporting clays. We shot around 50 round sporting clays, and then we move into some casting fun with the fly rod. So yeah, just a great way to have a good partnership between two great chapters in the West Michigan area.
All the work is shared between the two groups, and just to make things easy, all of the money raised, well, it's split right down the middle.
So it's great. All the proceeds we split 50-50. Half of it goes towards the Ruffed Grouse youth hunt every year in January, where we have 18 participants, ages 13 to 18. The other half goes towards Salmon in the Classroom, which is a big program here in Grand Rapids for the Trout Unlimited chapter.
Now, I just recently shot this course, and let me tell you, sporting clays can make you very humble very quick. It's a great way to hone your shooting skills or let you know how lacking your shooting skills may be. But that's just part of the fun when you're doing this with your buddies.
Is that why you hunt with these guys, Al? They let the birds for you?
Oh, yeah. I go because they're great conservationists. Aren't we all?
That is what?
And then as far as the shooting shells, we like them shooting shells. That puts more money in for fish and wildlife. It's a great team of people to be with.
So the course has about 15 stations, and you shoot about 50 shots. After that, the guys headed to the casting part of the competition, where they were scored on their ability to get a Velcro fly to fly where it was supposed to.
Velcro on the end of the lines, and they are casting The Velcro inside the hula hoop is 1 point. And if they hook the Velcro trout, that's 3 points. They have 5 stations, so it's a cumulative score between the sporting clays course and the casting course.
Okay. And is it about half TU guys and half rough grouse guys here today?
No, I think it's mostly shooters, to be honest. I think TU make the smaller portion of this. Okay. But Kent County Conservation League is very supportive of Shrems, the local TU chapter here. We want to be supportive of them too. And it's kind of a natural between rough grouse and trout unlimited. I think the upland bird guys are fly fishermen and vice versa a lot.
It was a great day for sure. Lots of clays to miss and lots of laughs watching some of the guys attempt to cast a fly rod. Overall, it was a win-win for everyone here today.
Well, this is a really exciting group between West Michigan, Shrems, West Michigan TU, and the Grand Rapids Rough Grouse Society because of bringing 2 conservation groups together, the importance of conservation, but mostly it's a fundraiser for youth. Shrems West Michigan TU does the Salmon in the Classroom program throughout Kent County, and the funds that they raise today is going to go to Salmon in the Classroom. So inner city youth, county youth understand how salmon come out of the eggs and then are released into the stream in a cold water conservation. As far as RGS goes, it's going to offset our youth hunt that we do each year to, again, talk to youth, young men and young women, about the importance of young successional forest, the importance of wing shooting, safety, dog training.
So quite often if you walk directly behind the dog, you may make the dog nervous and it may go forward and bump the bird. So you'll be coming around to the side. Okay. One side or the other, depending. And that's a trick you'll keep with you your whole hunting life if you're hunting behind pointing dogs.
And it's a wonderful opportunity to blend 2 groups together, and it really is a wonderful opportunity to get conservation-minded organizations and sportsmen together.
So if you live in the mid-Michigan area, this event may be worth looking into next year. Or even better, maybe the conservation group that you belong to can partner with another one in your area and do the same thing. Oh, you're not in a conservation club of some kind? Well, now is your chance. The boys at the Rough Grouse Society, TU, DU, Pheasants Forever, SCI, well, they'd all love to have you partner with them this upcoming year.
Boom!
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching Michigan Out of Doors this week. We have got a lot of brand new stuff coming over the next several weeks as we transition from summer into fall. It's hard to believe that the hunting seasons are right around the corner. What a great time of the year to be a sportsman here in the great state of Michigan. Hey, if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com. By Metalloid Firearms and Sports, developers of environmentally friendly firearm maintenance products for cleaning and protecting your firearms metal, as well as wood and leather components. On the web at metalloidfirearmsproducts.com. By the Michigan chapters of Safari Club International. For over 40 years, SCI has been protecting hunters' rights and promoting wildlife conservation here in Michigan and around the world. SCI chapter locations can be found on the web at firstformichigan.org. By the Michigan Petroleum Association and the National Oil Heat Research Alliance, advocating the advantages of oil heat for home and environment through products like BioHeat Oil, which blends biodegradable materials into a renewable fuel source. Learn more at oilheatamerica.com. Closed captioning provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. White-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man.